Okay, folks, thank y'all for being here. I've got this Mr. WIllie Tyson here, and we decided to go this route instead of being live on Facebook. And WIllie has graciously agreed to let me tell his story, and it's going to be on realstories.com, realpeoplestories.com. So the first question I want to ask WIllie is when I first heard about WIllie and this man that I see every morning at the crossing as a crossing guard down there in front of Alexander School. WIllie, where did you get this fantastic name? Where did WIllie come from? WIllie Tyson.
I was named after a great uncle that I never met. My daddy was uncle, and he asked him to name me after him, and that he would buy me a suit of clothes for the gift of naming him after me. And I never had a chance to meet him, and I don't know from there. Uh, I guess he passed on or whatever, but I never got a chance to meet him, and I was named after him.
Did he get the suit?
I don't even know if I got the suit because I was a child of baby. My daddy said I didn't, so I suppose I didn't.
That's awesome. That's a fantastic name. And I mean, so his name was the same. It was
T. WIllie Tyson. Yeah,
T.
I have pictures of him. I thought I did at home somewhere at one time, but I never had a chance to meet him. And in fact, I've met two or three other T. Willies, last name different, here in the city of Jackson. As a matter of fact, when I went to school at UT Martin, I met a girl there that was named T. Willie.
There's a girl named
There
WIllie.
was a girl named T. Willie.
Did you date this girl
No,
named
I did
WIllie?
not. She was a classmate
Oh,
at UT Martin.
well, you still could have dated WIllie. That would have made a great, wedding cake or whatever. WIllie and WIllie.
Well, that was the time that I was married during that time, so I was already taken during that time.
Yeah, that got complicated. So it's
Yeah.
probably best you didn't date WIllie.
That is true.
Now, I've been told that that you are a retired teacher and that you were a coach. So tell me and the folks out there a little bit about your history as a teacher and a coach.
I started my teaching and coaching career at Central High School, Alamo, Tennessee. I went there in 1966. I was there for 4 years. I taught PE and health, and I also coached boys basketball. After consolidation, I went to Bells High School over in Bells, Tennessee. I taught PE and I taught health. I was only there for 2 years. There again, consolidation. I moved to Madison County. Didn't move, I just transferred to the Jackson Madison County school system. I went to West Junior High at that time. That was in 1972. And I coached girls basketball, boys basketball, and I coached football, and I coached girls softball. I also taught health and PE for 20 years at West Junior High School. After that phase, I went to Southside High School in 1993, I think it was. And at Southside High School, I only coached boys basketball, I taught PE, and lifetime wellness. I was there for 20 years. And I retired in '04. And after retirement, I didn't know what I was going to do, didn't look for anything to do. And February '05, Mr. Earl Wyman, who was the principal at Alexander Elementary School at that time, had a crossing guard, a lady. She retired, she quit in February. And he was trying to be principal and do the crossing guard at the same time. So he was in need of a crossing guard. So one of his teachers told him that I wasn't doing anything and that I was retired. Asked her to contact me and come over and talk with him and see if I would help him out from February until May of that year. And I agreed to do that. And after that, we worked with the Jackson Police Department Uh, Captain Britt was in charge at that time. He asked me to stay on, and I stayed on for another couple of years. They changed principals about 4 or 5 times since I've been there, and each principal that's been there has asked me to stay on, so that's why I've been there up to this time.
Wow. So, I mean, education has obviously been a huge part of your life. Um, what I was told that you were very integral with helping the schools integrate, that you were a big part of that. Um, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, when the schools consolidated from the Jackson Madison County system to the Jackson School City system, West Junior High School was being closed at that time. The kids there had to transfer into Southside, Melissa's, in that area. Some few of them remained at Denmark Elementary School. So most of the kids coming from that area were black kids. And I had to kind of serve as a mentor, even more so than what I did when I was there with them. And a lot of cases I had to act as a parent to a lot of them and try to help the two races kind of blend together uh, through my coaching, through my dealing with the kids, and through my classroom to make everything kind of work along with the other teachers and principals that were there.
That's a that's a huge responsibility. I mean, not only were you having to to be the educator, just like you said, you were also the mentor. You were also the one who's helping um, the conflict resolve between the integration. So that's that's amazing. And so that obviously went off pretty well.
Well, we thought the consolidation went over real well. Everybody began to accept each other. Uh, Kids start mingling. Kids start getting involved with sports activities and other activities that was going on the school campus, and everything seemed to work out. There may have been a few incidents here and there, but nothing major. For the most part, all the kids they accepted each other.
Do you think that that's still that's how do you think that compares to the way that it is today in the school system? Is it because I mean I think it's doing pretty good, but what's your
Yeah, I think it's going along pretty good. You're still going to have a few diehards here and there that's going to not accept each other, but that's life. That's a society now. We just have to uh, do that. We have to all get along. If we're going to live in the same community, go to school together, there's no other way but to try to get along.
absolutely? That's a beautiful statement. What would you tell if you had to offer some advice to today's students? What would you tell today's students?
About what were you referring to? About
If you
school,
could, yeah,
about
well,
life, or
whatever. If you let's say you could give a 10th grade student, if they said, "What is your one piece of advice for me, Mr. Tyson, Mr. T. Willie Tyson?" What would you say? What would you, if I could give you one piece of advice about life?
well, I would first have to set goals. Find out what you want to do in life, work towards that. Be humble as you possibly can and work towards that goal. And reach out to other people for help. They can help you along the way to reach your goal.
What about parents? What would you, if you could tell?
Everything starts with the parent.
Everything starts with the parents.
Everything
Amen.
starts with the parent. The parent has to be in that child's life. Parent has to support that child. And most of the time, kids gonna learn what they see, and what they see at home, a lot of times is what they reveal away from home.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can get good parents involved into their life, uh, good constructive life, then I think that child will be okay.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Everything starts at home. Um, what made you decide to be a teacher in the very, very beginning?
Well, my first goal was to work in first aid. I wanted to work in first, I think they call it now, sports management or something
Sports
of that sort.
medicine,
Yeah,
yeah.
sports medicine.
Mm-hmm.
After high school, uh, my dad was not able to send me away to where I needed to go in Kansas City. So he said, "You'll always have a home. Uh, you'll always have a place to stay. You'll always have plenty of food. If you can find a way to get yourself in school somewhere locally, uh, then you can stay here." And I decided then I was enrolled into Lane,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked during the summer, got me enough money to get in, and after that, I would go to Atlantic City, New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked 2 jobs for the summer, and I was able to make enough money for that year, and I would go back the next year and do the same thing. So while at Lane, I was good friends with some of the coaches there and the high school coaches that I played under. Kind of encouraged me to get into coaching and to teaching. And that's what I did. I kind of followed the footsteps of some of my high school and some of my friends that was already into coaching.
Mm-hmm. Well, going back a little bit to what you said, your dad gave you that advice. So I think that reflects on the advice that you would give parents now, because your dad sounded like he was active in your life
It was.
and like he was involved and that he cared enough about you to give you this good sound advice.
Mm-hmm.
And so you being the product of coming out of that is a lot of what we're talking about with today's parents, having parents that are involved enough to give you good advice and to
Mm-hmm.
steer you in the right direction and not just turn you loose on your own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like your dad was that man too.
Yeah, my dad, I tell everybody my dad had a PhD. He only had a 6th, 7th grade in school. That's far as he was able to go in school back then. But I tell everybody he had a doctorate degree because he could do more with a dollar than anybody. That he was a good provider, good father. And same thing with my mom. She was a stay-home mom, and they were just good parents, and they did the best they could with what they had during that time. And he kind of instilled. I have a brother and a sister into each one of us. He's always said that it doesn't matter how much money you make, you try to live in, provide out of what you make.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
We
you had
grew out
very,
of that.
very wise parents, and to raise, I have 2 kids. I mean, but to raise 3, even back during those hard times, that was, I'm sure it was a challenge.
It was a challenge, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Out of all your teaching, and well, just really of your whole life, if you could single out what is the best memory that you could share, what's the best memory that T. Willie Tyson has?
I don't know if I can just single out one particular moment because I had so many of them.
Give me 2.
One of the, one thing that I enjoy more than anything else, and I think I mentioned that a few minutes ago, I have always enjoyed kids. Kids was in my life for 38 years. That was my livelihood for 38 years.
Yeah.
And I've always tried to help kids. I had another good piece of advice from my dad that stuck with me.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
He said, you always do what you can. You always help kids, old people, and fools. He said, these are 3 people that you always look out for.
Kids, old people, and fools.
Yeah.
Your daddy was a wise man.
Yeah, he said, there are people just crazy, just do anything, sometimes you got to try to help them out sometimes.
Yeah.
But I enjoy being, I would always say that I was a father. Every kid that I ever had in my classroom, or on the basketball team, then I always looked at, I'm your dad, I'm your mama. And I've always told them that, and I would always say that I'm going to be better to you than your father and your mother.
Yeah.
And one guy would always question me in the later year, how can you be better than me than my father? I said, because I'm going to make you do right or make you be gone.
Yeah.
And I would win the child over in most cases.
Yeah.
And we become good friends and become good players and good students.
Well, I mean, from a personal perspective, there, from a teacher and a student relationship, one of the most important men in my life, if not the most important, was a teacher in high school. He was our band director, and he, Lieber Ray Harris. Anybody that knows me knows about Lieber Ray, but Lieber Ray would make you do it right.
Right.
He would make you. He would make you put the ball of your foot on the ground, and he would on the line, and he would make you do everything right. But after a couple of years of arguing with myself over that, I realized, kind of like what you're saying, he was doing that because he really truly cared about what happened to me and to the rest of the students. He wanted the best for us, and he knew that we were being lax, and so he would hold us to our own accountability.
Another good moment, I guess, is see some of your students that you were close to and had a good connection with, and see them move on and do well. I had gobs of students to move on into other areas and do well. I had a few to move into coaching and do well. Some into a medical field and do well. And then when they come back to see you, you know, they thank you for the things that you did for them. It's always a good feeling to for them to come back and hear them say that.
Feel like that you see your work. Your work is the effort that you put into these kids.
Yes.
Has come back. Let me see what else we were going to talk about here. Now, I read somewhere that in 2012 that you helped save a 6-year-old from an accident.
That was a scary moment that particular morning. I was getting a little girl across the street. I had the traffic stop on one side of the street that was going south. There was 2 cars in the outside lane, in each lane going north. It appears that they may have been hollering out the window with each other, playing with each other. They were speeding. I kind of had my back to them as I was getting a little girl across the street. And as I turned, I heard the noise. Just as I turned by Millway to Street, those 2 cars ran through the red light. I had to grab her right at the center of those 2 cars, and we just turned to the side. I just pulled her into my body and just turned to the side, and they just kind of went off each elbow down the street. And there was a police officer there, Peaches Nesbitt, Sergeant Nesbitt, was running radar that morning. She saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
And she thought we were hit because right at that time, our 18-wheeler separated us from her and the traffic, and she couldn't see for a minute, and she thought we were hit. But for some reason or another, some way or another, I don't know, I was able to just grab that child, pull her in, and those 2 cars just went by.
That was bigger than you, wasn't it?
That was bigger than me. I mean, it happened so fast, so quick. She was able to stop one of the cars. The other car speeded away, and she approached the other car. I don't even know what happened, but I heard her wearing that guy out. She was fussing him real hard.
So how that little girl was how old?
She was 6 years old, little
6,
first grade. I answered her prayer. I'll never forget her. She's no longer at Alexander now, but I think she's still in elementary school. She transferred to another school.
So do you still see her?
I haven't seen her in a while. Matter of fact, I went into school during Christmas time looking for her, and they said she had transferred to another school. But I have a picture on my wall. I look at it every day in my kitchen. That the Jackson son took, and Peaches had it mounted in frame and presented it to me.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, it's one of those things. If you had not been there, the little girl would have gotten killed.
Would have been probably hit.
Yeah.
And it was a miracle that neither one of us was hit.
Yeah.
Because I was walking toward the traffic that was going south, they stopped. Her mother was over on the far side. She was screaming and hollering. I could hear her.
Oh, so her mom was there and
Her
she
mom
saw it. Oh
walked
my
her
goodness.
up there, and she
You know
was
she was tore
waiting
up.
till she crossed the street with me, and she was screaming and hollering. He got her. He got her. I could hear her saying that. She was telling Peach there before she could get across the street. He got her. He got her. She knew he was crossing the street, and those guys that I guess came from nowhere. Just boom, and
So you walk each child across the
I
street.
go to the middle of the street every time I see a child. When I see them coming, I meet them.
Okay.
And I go back across the street with them
Okay.
to get across the street.
Wow.
I never stand on the side and say, come on. I walk out there where they are and walk back across with them.
That's brave. on Highland.
Oh, how
At
that's
that,
a dangerous
at
place.
that time of the
That's a
morning, that is brave, T. Willie. Wow. Well, I know that family is thankful that there's a lot of people thankful for you being there. I know that's how I first came to have great respect for crossing guards, because you stopped me in the line of traffic and you were, I don't know, you were walking children across, and then you also motioned a bus in at the same time. And that's when I realized I really had never paid any attention to it. That's when I realized that you've got a lot of people in your charge all at one time. They're all at one time, condensed in that one time frame in that one area, and that's when I decided, that this was time to try to tell this man's story if it had not been heard. Well, T. Willie, those are the biggest questions I've got. I just wanted to tell your story because I think it's important. Sometimes we overlook the people that work every day in our lives and do things that are very important to keeping things in the world running smoothly, and they run in the background. And yours is not necessarily in the background, but you're out front. But it's that small amount of time, and it's just so incredibly important. But you got anything you want to say?
No, I appreciate you doing this. I had no idea what you were going to ask and what you wanted.
It was that tall bald man walked up
yeah.
to me on the street that
So,
day.
yeah, I've enjoyed the conversation with you. I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you coming. And once we get this all tied up, I'll have it on the website, realpeoplestories.com. And I guess that'll be the end of this interview, that I'm going to kind of need to patch something in the beginning and maybe at the end. And everybody just bear with me, because this is a process here as I try to develop the best way to record these conversations. And there'll be more coming. So you can either find me at thehungrykeyboard.com, or this one will be on, that's my blog at www.thehungrykeyboard.com, or at realpeoplestories.com. So thank you, T. Willie.
Well,
Shake my hand right here in front of the
Okay.
camera. That's what I'm saying.